All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Residents of Evil podcast. I am Ollie, and we are joined by Katie, who is Mia Winters in both 7 and 8,
Yes.
Biohazard and Village. And team member Tony is back with me again to help manage everything. Thank you for being here, Tony.
Of course.
Everyone who's tuning in, thank you guys. I really appreciate you showing up for this. If you have questions, put them in the chat. I'll do my best to get to them. Tony's going to help me keep an eye as well, and we will be looking for any super chats. So if you do that, we'll make sure we get to it. Other than that, Katie, thank you for being back. We just hung out like a month and a half ago.
I know.
Before we could talk about anything.
Yes,
Right?
Yes. We had to be all sneaky and quiet, even though everyone and their mother knew. But...
Yeah, right. I mean, you literally got shot in the trailer, so it's like I'm pretty sure that's
or did I?
Or did you? Right? Or did you? I guess let's get into it. How's it been since 7, and what was it like coming back with everyone for 8?
Oh, I mean, 7, we did the ROE con last year, so we got to talk a lot about 7, which was just amazing. I mean, I finally have been able to play parts of it. Earlier this year, I played some of it in VR, which just kind of blew my mind. I 8, I'm almost happy they don't have it in VR because I don't know if I'd be able to handle that. I can barely handle 7. But it was just kind of nice. And, when all of the 7 stuff was mellowing out, I got a random voicemail from a producer being like, hey, we need to talk to you about Mia coming back. And I immediately, I was on set for a short film and I was like, hey guys, I need to make a quick phone call. Give me like 2 minutes. I had no idea. You hope, but you never know what they're going to do, what the stories are, who's going to come back, who survives, who dies.
Yeah.
So, I called them up and they just said, we don't know how much she'll be in 8, but we do know she's coming back, and her and Ethan are going to have a child. So you'll get to work with a baby. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, yes. And then I told my agent and they're like, don't say yes yet. And I was like, too late.
Too late.
I don't care. Too late. I want to do this. Right. I am Mia. This is my girl. And then it was a couple more months until motion capture started, getting little bits and pieces, and then motion capture was supposed to continue and it got pushed, and then COVID hit. And so things went awry.
Yeah.
It definitely became hectic, but, we got through it. We got everything done. I got to meet a lot of new actors. There's a good amount of actors from 8 who I haven't officially met because I didn't work with them. So I'm kind of excited for this stage now. The game's over, it's out, we can talk about it. And now I can finally meet some of these other actors that, I'm part of this game with, which is kind of mind blowing. So I'm really excited for that portion that is now going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And we talked about that with Paula the other day. About the big get together at her house, the 4th, 5th, and 6th of June. So everyone, make sure you guys got that on your calendar. I think Nicole might be hosting it on her Twitch, or at least you can definitely find more information through everyone's social media.
I believe it's going to be, the date hasn't been officially announced because we're in that time we're figuring out. But I believe Nicole it'll be on her Twitch. So, and you'll just have to wait to see who officially will all be there.
Well, stay tuned to the social media so you guys get all the good details.
Exactly.
And working with Todd again, coming back and meeting up with Todd.
Yes, I think that was the thing I was most excited for. I was just we had so much fun shooting 7, even though it was so crazy.
Yeah.
We had good chemistry. We got along real well. I've said this before. He reminds me a lot of my brothers, which is really cool because during our downtime, we just hang out and talk. And I'm from Chicago, so I'm a big Bears fan. He's a Detroit Lions fan, so we always had that thing going on. So it was nice to be able to get back into that and just go for it and be okay, what have you been up to the past few years that I haven't seen you?
Right, working hard apparently.
Yeah, exactly. So it was work, downtime, work. So it was just nice to be able to do that. And even more so, we were talking earlier, I was so excited that he got to do so much more in this game.
Yes, yes.
Like, he got to be a character. People got to see his personality, and like there was so much more to him than just losing hands and fingers. So
it yep, losing body parts and being abused by everyone.
Exactly. And I mean, I have them with me, so
yeah, they had a little bit of Ethan here to hang out with.
You know, I keep a little bit of Ethan with me everywhere I go. I think that's what everyone should do. Right. So.
Poor Ethan, man. The guy had his issues with hands.
Capcom, they're just like, what would be the worst thing possible? Let's chop his hand off again. Okay.
Yeah. One more time. We didn't do the other one. We did the left. Let's do the right this time.
Poor PTSD, man. I would like walk around like this the whole time. I'd be opening doors like
elbow and everything. Right.
That poor guy.
It's true. It's just like everybody was out just to like get his hands. It was hilarious.
Just his hands. Not even like he didn't even not a leg, nothing. Hands.
Yeah. They didn't chop a foot off or anything. I mean, they stabbed him in the leg and dragged him, but they literally just bit off these fingers here and everything, and they just like
didn't lose his wedding ring though.
Hand off. Like
I know.
Didn't lose his wedding ring.
Good husband.
Yep.
He knew.
He knew.
He held on to that.
Yep. You could take the fingers, but leave the ring. At least a little.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it to divorce this lady here.
Hey, it's his choice, man. He chose to come after her.
Twice.
Right.
She said, "Stay away."
She did.
I'm leaning in on this. She said, "Stay away."
It's his fault.
It's true.
Actually, I think it's
terrible.
Wasn't it? Didn't Evie send him an email or something in one of the? I can't remember. I forget what drove him there, but I thought he got a message from like someone saying, with a hint and a direction to go. So he was a good husband.
He did. So technically, Mia sends him an email saying like, "Here's where I'm at. Things are really messed up. Like, don't come looking for me." Right. And I mean, let's be honest, if anybody gets that, they're going to be like, "Wait a minute, what? I'm going to look for you."
Yeah.
So that is Mia's bad. She should have never even sent the email. It had been 3 years. She just should have left it be. But then we wouldn't have the story. So
yeah, for sure. Then he would just been sitting at home, and then nothing would have happened. It
would have been so boring. Yep. I mean, Ethan. I think that Mia helped Ethan have a much fuller life in that time that he had it.
Very shortened life.
I mean, he had a kid. Like, she gave him everything. Adventure.
He got to travel to foreign lands. Meet new people.
Exactly.
Everyone was trying to kill him all the time, but it's okay. Hey, it's new faces, new places.
He got to meet some really interesting characters. A lot of people can't say that.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. That's true.
I opened his world up. So.
As every good wife does, right?
Yeah, by opening up, you mean putting his hand with a screwdriver to a wall.
And then chopping it off with a chainsaw.
I just had to keep him in place. He was being all squirmy.
He just stay still.
Fair enough.
If he just would have stayed still and stopped screaming, it would have been fine. So
stop screaming. The Decastar said, "Hi, Katie. I was just wondering if you received different instructions on how to act as Mia in those scenes in the village. That she was, different."
Different. Not as much because they didn't want it obvious, of course.
Right.
Which I think they nailed it because when that first trailer came out, I got so many messages. Thank you to everyone who was so sad. I got so many messages and DMs of like, "R.I.P. Mia. I can't believe they did that to her. How could Chris kill her?" So it was kind of great. I think they did a good job with being like, playing this fine line of, you don't want to know she's not Mia, so you need to be Mia in that. But at the same time, you see little hints in that scene where she snaps very awkwardly about things, or she's very quick. And then it's like kind of almost a creepy, like settle down of like, "So, okay, here we go.
Back into
Why
it.
don't you do this?" Yeah. So you have that like creepy balance, like something doesn't feel right. Yeah. Like I know Mia's cray, but something feels really off here. So it was all about that balance. So the biggest thing for me, because there were times that I tried to go a little bit more like
sinister,
evil for Mother Miranda, and they're like, "No, we want this to be Mia."
Yeah.
So we really played into that and then just gave those little subtle hints of something's not right. So I've been able to see those scenes now. And I'm so happy how they came together, because you're definitely not sure when you're watching it. Yeah, you're definitely not sure, but something's very off. You just you can't quite pinpoint it.
It felt like she was refusing to acknowledge those situations. Like she wanted to move past them without approaching them and dealing with them. That's what it felt like. But then you find out why later, because it wasn't even her.
Exactly. And then at the same time, it makes me go, oh, poor Mia. Like, wait, how long has she been gone for? What is like
exactly how long?
Let's hear about her. I want to see what's happening.
She just sat in this dungeon the whole time. You don't even get to find her till the end of the game.
She pops out a kid and then just like taken away. What's going on here? Come on, we need to know more.
Did they tell you from the get-go when you were getting ready for to get into the scenes and stuff? Did you shoot that scene first?
Yeah, we shot. That was the first one. The first part of the script, because we're always just given scenes.
Right.
There was a table read, but I missed it because my sister got married and I was a maid of honor. So I was at a wedding when they did the table read. So I didn't know about the twist originally.
Okay.
I just got that scene. So I read it all excited, like Mia's coming back. And then by the time I finished this scene, it's like bang, bang, bang. I'm sorry, Ethan. And I remember putting this scene down and going to my husband, like, they killed me off. Like, I was so bummed. And I get it happens. There's always a reason, like they have their story arc. And I was like, I'll learn someday like what it was. But I was just so sad after 7. I was like, I can't believe it was just like a bye. Like, peace out, Mina. So yeah, I was definitely a little bummed. We got to the day of shooting and I still had that in my mind. And we started shooting a little bit of it, and we had taken a break, and I think I was talking to Todd and I said something like, oh, I'm just so bummed that they killed her off. And Todd's like,
you didn't get the rest of the script yet.
He's like, do you not know what happens? And I was like, wait, what? And so we talked about it. And then we went back into shoot, and the director was giving me the direction of balancing the fake Mia. And I was like, what? This is amazing. It was just, my mind exploded. It was so cool. I came home from shooting and I told my husband, I was like, I'm not dead. I was like, I don't know what else I'm doing, but I know I'm not dead.
This is the excitement. Yeah, Mia's alive.
It was so exciting.
How long was the gap between shooting that first scene and when they brought you back to do your other scenes later?
Because of COVID, it was, probably 9 months.
Oh, wow.
It was a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
I know some of the other actors were able to do a lot leading up to the lockdown, because that happened in March of 2020, and we were supposed to shoot January. So I was said I was going to be going into shoot, and then they had to rearrange some scenes. So they're like, oh, we're going to push it to March. So I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
So I was already March to do some mocap, and then the world shut down. So they were like, so we're not shooting in March. We have to wait. And so we had to wait a few months until California was able to open back up a little bit, where we could then go in, and it was great. Their producers, everybody had things set up with the team from Japan working, throughout the nights, because they were online doing stuff with us. They were always there, the director being there, and then everybody in LA. It was just, it was craziness, but they were able to pull it all together. It was just amazing. Yeah.
So difficult, just difficult task to complete, living in that kind of, circumstances.
Yeah. And even once we were doing the scenes, it was just strange, because instead of really hanging out with people, everybody's spread out. We're in our spaces. We can still talk to each other, but you're so far apart. So everybody's kind of doing their own thing. And then once you're on set, for me, I was the only one without a mask on. So we'd get COVID tested, and we had all these different things we had to go through. And then we had the mask, and I'd hide mine in my mocap suit when they yelled action.
Yeah.
But I'm acting with actors who have masks on.
Right. Right.
There's not much facial stuff. Like, it's all that. And then the moment they yell cut, it's like, pull the mask out, put it on, direction, on to the next. So they were great. They made everything real comfortable, because I was definitely nervous when they reached out saying, hey, we're going to do this. Here's everything we're going to safety wise put into order. But I got to give props to the producers and Rosanna at the Workhouse. She really came together and made everything very comfortable, very safe.
Right.
And, you know, every day I came in, like, I just felt like I was back home. Like, it was great.
Yeah.
So that was helpful.
Everything they did, just, it sounds like they really knew what to do to undertake like the challenges that were ahead, and they did it correctly and kept everyone safe, and were able to get the game out, and the game has been a success.
Yeah. I mean, I know they had to work so hard, like, to get through COVID and get this game out on time and everything. So I just give them props, because we just had to go in. Like, it was like, memorize your lines, go in and shoot. There was so much they had to do. So I give them props, because that side of things, you don't realize until you're there and seeing like all the work going into it. So that was really cool, seeing more of that side. But yeah, it was out and people like it. Woohoo!
So they pretty much just called you up directly and say, hey, you're coming back. There was no auditions, no, hey, come back and read again and see if you're still good for it.
That would be so mean. Luckily, no. Okay. Luckily, they just called me up and said, you know, she's coming back for the game. Would you like to come back? Like, we want you to come back. Would you like to? So
that was nice.
Easiest casting I've ever done. It was awesome.
Yep. Well, let's hope that's the way when 9 comes around. We don't know what the details are, but I'm hoping that Mia does play a part. You would think she would, because with Rose, you know, being a surviving parent, I feel like there's got to be something there. Hopefully we'll find
She's
out.
a single mom. They should really focus on that.
Yeah. Well, she's got I guess the stand-in dad with Chris Redfield, who wants nothing to do with any of it, apparently.
Exactly. And I think Mia kind of wants nothing to do with it too at this point. I think she's kind of over the BS. She's like, I didn't know I was signing up for all this crap years ago.
Then,
I mean, you can see in the game, she's not too thrilled with Chris.
Yeah.
So.
Poor Mia, still technically the bad guy.
I know, people are mad at her in this game, saying like,
fault, right?
She's still lying and it was her fault. And I'm like, whoa. She was like in a cell. She didn't do any of that.
Just because it looked like her.
Away.
It was somebody else. Mother Miranda.
Exactly. This is not Mia's fault.
Not this time.
No. 7, blame her. 8,
completely her fault. Completely her fault. I can understand why you're mad about 7, but 8, she has nothing to do with it.
Yes. She's just protecting her family. It's all about family.
It's the next crossover, Resident Evil and Fast and Furious. It's all about family.
It's all about family.
Yep. We're gonna get Vin Diesel in Resident Evil 9.
No, we're not.
Hey, that tyrant they dropped kind of looked like Vin Diesel. I'm just saying. From the
BSAA. Okay, yeah, the BOW guy.
Yeah, the BOW.
Okay,
I can definitely see Vin Diesel punching boulders. So
he probably does that just on his own, anyways, just for a good time.
That's his workout.
Right? Yep, because it reminds him of The Rock. Anyway.
Exactly.
So Kia here has a comment. Mia, how does it feel being kidnapped by Miranda and copying your appearance just to take Rosemary for her ceremony? As far as, I guess, motivations as a character, was any of that addressed? Did they tell you what the overall story was going to be?
I mean, again, part of it's my fault for missing the table read. I think, I would have known all of this if I was there for that.
Weddings are no big deal.
Yeah, it's never fun to miss these things. It really stunk that I had to miss it, but if it's for a reason, it's for a wedding. So yeah.
I guess
like wedding and funeral, I think are the only things that it's like, okay, this is why I can't make it.
Right.
So it was allowed. but I think I missed out on knowing a lot of it, and that's why right now watching the game, watching people play, it's really fun because I'm even new to some of these things, like what Ethan goes through, some of the lords, like I know them, but I don't know the full extent of their stories. So that's been really cool. I'm diving into it new also with a lot of people. So that's been really, really fun. And then for me, I did not know, like I knew, I knew what Ethan really was. I knew, that Rose was something special because of everything that happened in 7.
Right.
I did not know the extent of like Mother Miranda and the ceremony. Like I didn't know all that. Like I didn't know why she was being kidnapped to that extent. So that was all.
On the story aspect of that, knowing that Ethan was technically dead this whole time, just as you as an actor and seeing like, okay, well that's interesting, going from making 7 to this new story, what were your thoughts on that, finding out what Ethan's character actually was at that point?
So I didn't know that right away.
Right, when you when you
like another thing that I didn't realize like the whole death thing. I'm like, spoilers. Yeah. I'm sure if people are watching this, they've already played the game, but I guess spoilers. Yeah. So when I first shot it, like I thought, from what I had read, that just the mold had taken hold.
Right.
So I didn't think that it was like an actual death and then mold. Like I thought it was similar to Mia, just like an infection.
Right.
So when it came further down and then Mia's like, you don't know how special he is. And that's when there was more to it. So that's when it got a little bit more like, and then the end of the game is just the most heart-wrenching. Mm-hmm. That scene was so emotional to shoot. I legit teared up during it. I tear up when I watch it now, like when I actually see that scene play out. These characters have just become like something to us. And working with Todd and just creating that like family bond. And then that death is like, you probably like hear it. I just get like so choked up about it. Those emotions were real. Like that, when you hear Mia just like breaking down at that end, that's real. Cause it's just like, I can't believe that this is where it went. Like, I can't believe, because it's also that thought of, yes, everybody's like, oh yeah, he's been dead this whole time. He has, but he hasn't.
Right.
That's the whole point. And so Mia knows this. So when she sees the destruction of all of it, she's like, but no, like, yes, he was dead, but he wasn't. And
she was hanging on to everything she had at that point. And now, he's gone.
Yeah. And it was like, she finally had everything, even though it was linked with all this awful stuff, she finally had it all. And then in her eyes, Chris, even though it was Ethan's choice, but in her eyes, Chris did this. This is Chris's fault. He did this. There's a lot going on in that end of the game for sure.
And she's right. I think Chris has a lot to blame for what happened in 8.
And, I say blame Chris.
Blame Chris. Not Mia's fault.
Hashtag blame Chris. I'm telling you.
And so is Ethan.
Ethan says blame Chris.
Yeah. The poor guy. And it's got to be sad too, knowing that that's the end of Todd's character. So
I know.
Is he coming back?
There's always the hope. There's always the hope, that hope of like they'll figure out a way. But you just, Capcom loves to hold things very close to the chest.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said.
Been told,
I got a phone call and then they were already like shooting. So it happens when they're ready. That's when it happens. And I appreciate it because look at how excited everyone was about this game.
Yes.
Even with little things that got leaked, but still people were so excited. And every trailer that came out and every time there was anything online to watch or see, it was just so different that people were like, ooh, like, I can't wait. So I think Capcom does it right. Like,
this was a fun game to do that too. Cause like, we have our team member Beggy who joined us last year. and she really dives into the lore of things. And 8 was like her playground because there were so many concepts that were borrowed from, you know, Eastern European, Romanian lore between Dracula, the Lycans. She's just had a blast with it, and her videos are amazing.
It's so cool to watch, and I mean, I've always loved horror. You know, Van Helsing, Dracula, Underworld, like all these different things, and you watch this game and you're just like, oh, I was a part of like this meld of all of these things. So and I did it all in a grandma sweater. So
she does wear that cardigan the whole time.
It's not even a cardigan. I've never seen such an oversized like grandma sweater cardigan.
Grandma sweater.
That's what I own, one of them. It's like my comfy grandma sweater. It's what you lie around the house in. And this poor woman, for who knows how long,
has been in a dungeon
wearing that floral shirt and that grandma sweater.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Chrono Trigger has a super chat here. Says, hope you're all doing well this evening. Excited to see Village being an amazing success, and much love to the entire cast and Capcom. I still have to play Village later on and be entranced by it.
Yes.
You'll get there.
My husband just threw my grandma sweater in. So
they're comfortable though. They're comfortable. I have a kimono that I wear all the time because it's just a nice, comfortable overcoat, basically.
They're great. Unfortunately, LA all of a sudden is like 100 degrees out of nowhere, so not exactly wearing it now. But yeah, I have people asking if I'm going to do Mia cosplay for 8, and I'm like, ooh, gotta go to the thrift store and find me some floral and some grandma sweater.
Yep,
gotta find a baby somewhere. Where the hell am I gonna find a baby?
Yeah, I don't even have one of those. That'll be a tough one. I gotta find somebody with a baby and be like, can I borrow that for the convention? Just
can I borrow your baby for a little bit?
Can I borrow your baby for a little bit? I promise I'll take care of it.
I'll take care of it. If you can't find a baby, just find a bag of flour and wrap it up.
Or a bag of flour and wrap it up.
Yeah, it's like an 8th grade health project. Just draw a smiley face
carry
on
an egg with it everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, little egg. I don't think anybody would trust Mia with a baby. So
I wouldn't.
No,
I don't trust her to hold my hand.
She might take it with her.
You know, she does. She is a great storyteller. I mean, she knows how to read a fairy tale. So
kind of lives in one.
Yeah. That story for Village is really good. It's a really interesting story. A lot of people, are talking about like inspirations of something like Tim Burton with the way.
Oh, that's immediately what it reminded me of.
Yeah. And the animation is awesome. I love the animation in that part.
Beautiful. That was really fun because I got to do, for I think one of the trailers, I got to do more of the story, and that was all done in ADR. So I just got to watch the animation and then do the lines along with it. And that was really, really cool because that was the first time I saw it, and I went home and I'm just like, I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas is like my favorite movie. Like I love Tim Burton. And so coming home from that, I was like, oh my God, this game feels so like those images, the swirls and the darkness and the gold, like everything about it felt so Tim Burton-like. So that was definitely cool. I was like, I need to get this book and do like an audiobook reading of it or something.
Yep. I wonder if Capcom is going to make an actual physical copy of that book, because I think a lot of people would like to have it.
I think so. I know I've seen like pictures of it or something, but I don't know if it's just more like a picture book of the game and the outside looks like Village of Shadows. Like I don't know what it was, but I know I've seen stuff online. I think it'd be very smart for them to create an actual book.
That should have been part of the collector's edition.
It's so cool.
Yeah, people would have loved that because people want the puppets.
Yeah. Have you seen the puppets?
We talked about the puppets. Yeah.
I saw that commercial and my mind, I lived in Japan, so it didn't surprise me, but I was like, how are they not selling these plush like everywhere? They must be. They have to be.
Yeah.
I saw like nothing about. I always look for like merch for Resident Evil, and like there was nothing. And I'm like, why would you like create this awesome thing and not realize, hey, people would want this? I know that stuff could be kind of expensive, but yeah.
But it's the same as like Funko. People were saying there's very few Funko dolls that are Resident Evil, and it's like,
it's a very small collection.
We have so many things now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Funko to make a Mia one where you press the head and it turns from crazy to normal.
Be cool.
Oh
that would be awesome. That would
like,
be
how
awesome.
amazing would that be?
Yeah. That would be cool. Goldheart.
Funko, if you're listening,
Yeah,
that's what
that's a winner right there. That's sold, in my opinion.
like, you're gonna get a Lady D. Like, that's epic.
It's gonna be
that
on
one's gonna
the
be
tyrant,
coming.
because they had the giant tyrant one and the giant hunter one. There's gonna be a giant Lady D one.
You know it. It's got to be coming soon.
Yeah, Goldheart says there is a physical copy of that book, so we got to track that down. Thank you, Gold.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool.
She also said later, I hope there's a Funko Pop and plushie for Village. Me too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think they
Come
have
on, who
a lot
wouldn't
of good
sleep with a
characters.
giant Lady D? Little plush Lady D just nuzzle up in there.
I made a very horrible joke about that the other day. The worst.
Fernando Lisboa has a super chat here. Thank you so much, Katie, for your work. I wish we had seen more of Mia after the Chris part. By the way, what was her favorite or most exciting moment in the game? Thanks to the Road team for doing these interviews. Yeah, is there? Mia didn't have the biggest part, but maybe the ending. Because it's such an emotional scene.
The ending. I actually really liked when Chris first finds her. And she kind of like. He basically is kind of like, oh, I found you. Now I'm going to go over here and leave you here. And she gets really mad at him. Yeah. And she kind of yells at him and pushes him. And there was something about that scene because everybody knows Chris is like the big scary dude. And Jeff, he has such a stature and his voice is just so perfect. So it's very easy to act with him. But there's something about like just doing that scene and getting so emotional of just like, where is my husband? Where is my daughter? And that build up and that push, like there was something about it. Like I loved that scene because I think it was the first time you really felt Mia just have that guttural reaction of like, you promised everything and you lied. Like you broke your promise and our lives are destroyed again.
Yeah.
So for me like the ending of course is amazing, but that scene in particular, I really, really like doing for sure.
I can see that. I get that because in 7, you were flipping between the evil Mia to a confused Mia. And then there's, the stretch where you play as Mia where it's solving a problem. It's not really processing anything. It's about a direction, following that direction. Yeah. And then we get into 8 where we get this huge crazy scene where it looks like Mia's dead. And then you find out that she's not. But I think that is like the first real moment where we get to see Mia as a wife and a mother, really. And like you said, the interaction with Chris, because they trusted Chris. Chris is supposed to be the one that he was been helping him this whole time, training him, protecting him. And now this is pretty much his fault.
Yeah. And like, think about it. The end of 7, like who's the first face they see to save them? Chris. So there's so much, I think, that they put that trust into him. That at least for Mia, it's like all of this was bullshit. Yeah. All of this was a lie. Like, how could you do this? And not only that, but it's like a big F you, like, no. You don't get to do all this and then just leave me here.
Yeah, we're gonna talk.
Like, wait a minute.
You're gonna listen to me for a minute.
Yeah, it's a very like that wifey moment of like, no, turn around. You're gonna listen. I have something to say. You're going to listen.
And poor Jeff was like, okay.
Yeah. I think it's almost like that mom voice when she's just voice. Like, get back over here. So it's very
yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
Mike Peterson has a super chat that says, I need a Moreau Sea Monkey tank.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. And some awesome character designs in this with Moreau being this monstrosity fish monster. And then you've got creepy. Little Angie the doll, the mystery behind Donna, the big Lady D and her daughters,
yes,
and then Heisenberg just being the cool dude back there smoking a cigar looking like Van Helsing
with his sunglasses.
Yeah, with the sunglasses, very Nicolas Cage of him. That's so awesome. It's such a great game, and I'm very happy for everyone. I'm happy that you were able to come back, and I'm hoping we see you again. I appreciate where Capcom's taking this. It's a different approach. It was a bit of a reboot with, and now they're starting to feed some storylines back into it from classic, Resident Evil lore. So it's pretty good. I'm happy with it.
That's fun. Yeah. And I feel like with this game, they gave you, they still kept the horror. It seems like they toned it down a little from 7.
Yeah, definitely. It's Significantly, yeah.
I would say from 7, they definitely toned down the horror, but you know, they did. I think they tried to balance. It seems from watching the different games and playing them that you know, shoot 'em up game and then the horror and survival game. It kind of feels like this game they kind of were like, let's try to give a bit of everything.
Right.
So it's like there are parts that are very shoot 'em up, let's go for it, and then there are the survival horror and the hiding and puzzles, and so I feel like it was just really cool to meld all these different things. You're never gonna please everyone, but they definitely tried.
Yeah, it's sold well, so they did a good job.
Exactly. It seems like they did the right thing.
Yeah. Let's go back to 7 for a minute. You said you had played 7 a little bits and pieces in VR. Did you get to play the intro and see yourself coming up through the darkness on the stairs?
Yes, and I really wish I had the video of it. I remember shooting that scene. We had so much fun shooting that scene. I actually had stairs like in the motion capture stage that I was climbing up and down and all these things. And when I was playing it, like you're just so enveloped in the world when you're in the VR. I mean, it got to a point where they like my husband put a yoga mat underneath me, so I knew
your area to stay within.
The area to go in, because you don't realize how much you just start turning and spinning and all these different things. And so I get to the thing and like nothing's really happening and it's just darkness. And then I hear it and I was like, wait, I remember this. And then I just jump up and I screamed so loud and I threw the remote control and I fell to the ground. I just hear laughing behind me. And like Mia is just stabbing and freaking out. And I'm literally, I no longer have the remote, so I can't even do anything. Like I physically threw the remote and I'm on the ground and I'm just going, stop hitting me, stop hitting me.
Stop
like,
hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
It's the epitome of stop hitting yourself. And then my friend was able to like get the remote back into my hand because I was like I'm literally swatting at nothing. I was like, I can't. So yeah, needless to say, after that, I took a break because I was like, I need to breathe. I oh my God.
Yeah.
I was not ready for that jump scare and I shot it. Like
right, you knew it was coming.
I knew when it was coming. I knew the scene. I think those are the lines that people have me repeat the most. So like I knew it.
Yeah.
Still caught me off guard. Still caught me.
Did you miss not being able to flip that switch in 8 like you did in 7 from nice and loving to psycho crazy?
I definitely miss because psycho crazy is a lot of fun. Like it's a lot of fun to play. It's fun to scare people. So I miss that, but I appreciated the like rounding out of Mia. Yeah. Like I really appreciated being able to show more emotion in 8 and be more real, and just for people to get to see that side of her. I feel like it made her so much more human and a bit more likable in a way.
Hopefully, yeah.
Maybe, kind of, sort of. So I definitely appreciated that. And I think overall getting a chance between these two games, just playing one character, but being able to play her like across the spectrum.
Right.
She got to be so many different personalities and emotions. Yeah. So as an actor, that was kind of amazing. You know, it was like, which Mia is going to show up today?
A lot of dimensions to her character.
Yeah. And for me, especially being my first, motion capture and video game, like foray, it was just incredible. Like
best way to get into it.
Best way.
Capcom Resident Evil. I mean, it's kind of one of the top, of the franchises in all of gaming. So
I said, like, as an actor, like I can die happy. Like this is pretty epic to be able to say that I got to be a part of this and this is on my resume. Like that's pretty amazing for me.
Mr. the Kid 412 has a good point. A question: do you think we would get a game that develops Mia's background with the connections. And that's really interesting because there's a lot of mystery behind Mia too. Because we've seen everything from 7 on, but we don't know what happened before 7. And the connections are kind of a big deal in the universe of Resident Evil right now.
Yeah, I mean, how she got involved with Umbrella, you know, and Evelyn, and then even after 7 and before 8 starts, there's like her and Ethan living together, and quite frankly, after everything in 7, you would think there's some couple therapy before they're having a kid.
Yeah, right.
So I would hope they went through some couples therapy.
Well, I mean, you know, sometimes accidents happen. Explains my existence.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, a really good couples therapy session and Rose.
Yeah.
So
okay, so Ethan, how were you feeling when your wife Mia cut off your hand? Tell us. Express.
Oh, I feel like half a man right now, honestly.
Oh, come on. It's 3/4.
You got another hand.
3/4.
3/4.
The hand was back on.
We stapled it back on. That's good.
I mean, is that all I'm ever gonna hear about is the broken hand?
Yeah, like, oh, hey, how was your day, honey? Oh, it's good. And, you know, my hand still kind of bothers me occasionally.
I might just like flick over some ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Like there.
Stop
crying it hurts every time it rains.
Damn arthritis.
Arthritis.
Chrono Trigger gave us another super chat. Thank you, Chrono. The scene of Mia jetting up the stairs in VR scared me so much that I may have punched a hole in the wall with the PlayStation VR headset. Not a good day for yours truly here. I still can hear the psycho Mia.
Yeah. I mean, my remote easily could have gone through my TV. Luckily, I threw it down and not forward.
Yeah, because these TVs break like no friggin' tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And VR
I would have
does it a
been
lot.
very sad if I did. I would have been very mad at myself. But luckily, I threw the remote down and not forward.
Yeah.
So I was safe in that respect. But yeah, the next person who played, we brought out a giant beanbag and they sat in it and played. You're like, no movement.
Stay
no,
still.
like,
stay still.
Still in VR, but we're gonna keep you still.
Yeah. The first time I played 7 before we started the row, because it was about that time that we started row. 7 had just come out before that, and I used to do live streams on my own channel.
Okay.
From one of the big major GameStop flagship stores, because I used to live right down the road from their corporate office.
Oh, nice.
And I had a relationship with the guys that worked there. So when they had a big launch, like the Switch or a huge game release, I would lug all my stuff to the store. I would set up, and they had like a double store because they had ThinkGeek with all the collectibles and then GameStop. So it was big. Oh. And I would basically just hang out with all the customers, and we would, show the game off. And yeah, I had a whole bunch of people standing around when that scene of Mia coming up the stairs, and everyone was like, I need this game right now. I was like, jump in line because I'm still playing it. Yeah,
I think that's some of the few pictures I have of me doing motion capture. One of them is me crawling on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's like from a distance, it's kind of blurry, but it's like, yep, that's that scene.
Oh man, if you had a good one of that would be a great print to sign.
That would be. Unfortunately, it's kind of blurry. It's more of just a fun Instagram post.
Yeah, right. Do you guys have a cast picture, the behind the scenes cast picture?
I wasn't there that day. There is one though with I'd say like 90% of the actors from 8 are in it. There's like a whole big shot of everybody. And cool. I want to say it was the day they probably were shooting that big scene.
Like the church scene?
Yes.
When everyone's in it for the most part. All the main players are. Yeah.
Yeah. So that scene, I think the day they shot that, they did like a picture, and unfortunately Mia's, dead.
Yeah, she's not relevant at that point. She's dead.
At that point, she's dead. So I was not there for that. I'll just superimpose myself as a floating head at the top of it somewhere.
Just throw your head behind somebody's shoulders, and there you go. They never know.
Yeah. We'll blow that up as like a giant print for everyone to sign.
See, that would be fun. I think I would like to have one of those a cast print and have everyone sign it, and then I'll throw up on the wall. That'd be awesome.
That would be really, really cool. I know everybody's so spread out, but at least the world's opening back up, so we're able to start seeing people in person and getting to do more. So I'm just excited to get to meet a lot of the cast that I didn't work with. So
yeah, for sure, because you had a lot of guys come from 3, which had just come out before this one. So they basically moved from one game to the next. We're kind of like in between games. You guys have been on a little bit of break from 7, but to come back and see familiar faces and meet the new ones, and kind of at this point knowing going forward that there's a good possibility you guys will all be working with Capcom again in the future, because they like to pull their talent back. So it may not be the same characters, but at least hopefully, you know, if you do get called back, you'll see the same faces, and you know,
which is awesome.
Developing that bond, like you were talking about, you know, getting to know Nicole and going through some of her stuff. I love that the cast is so united. It's such a close family group.
And I think a lot of it has to do, though, also with the RE community. It's easy for us as actors to want to hang out, to get to know each other, to do stuff outside of this, because the RE community is so like excited and welcome and opening and like, are you guys going to do stuff together? We'd love to see this. And I mean, we're all about it. We're like, if you want to see it, yeah, we'll totally do it. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah. And that will lead into something at the end of the show that we'll get into about, you know, getting to meet your favorite actors. So,
hint. No.
CJP Devil May Cry fans 2698. I recognize that name. You've asked some good questions in the past. Thank you for being back. Hey, Katie, did you ever think that Mia ever wondered what Ethan went through after he was brought to the village, or got brought to the village? I've never seen her actually try to break free or something like that. When you came back to film that scene when you're with Jeff, you know, and Chris, had you already caught up to the story at that point? Did they fill you in the context of what had happened?
For the most part.
Okay.
Yeah. Like for the most part, I knew, of course, the full details. I don't know a lot of that stuff. But the overall story, like I knew where it was going, why things were happening, and what was happening. So in order to do that final scene, you know, I had that context of, you know, what Ethan realized, what he realized he had to do to ultimately stop all of this.
Right.
Or at least we hope, because it's Umbrella and Capcom, so you never can stop this stuff.
Yeah.
25 years.
25
have we
years
not
later,
learned?
we're still going strong.
I don't think there is stopping, but he stopped what he could. So I needed to know those bits and pieces to get to that place, to the ultimate, me knowing that he is sacrificing all this. And again, as Mia, he's sacrificing again. Like he did it in 7 and now he's doing it again in 8. So I think I've said to people, for me, Mia grew up a lot between like throughout 7 and 8. She took more responsibility. She became more of a person. And I feel like she became less selfish. I think definitely. Mia in 7, very selfish, didn't tell him the job she was doing, hid a lot, did all this stuff. And I think by the end of 7, there was more realization of trying to save Ethan, but ultimately he saves her. And then in 8, again, he has to be the one to save everyone. So to be able to get to that place, having learned all of that, helped me emotionally get to even more of a, you know, thought of what human being, what kind of like soul does this, is able to do this. And, you know, it just brings it to a whole nother level as an actor. When you have that thought in your head of like, are there human beings like this really out there who would do something like this? Like, holy cow. I told Todd, I go, you've ruined me for video game husband. Like, I will never have a video game husband after you that will compare. I mean, let's be honest here, like the ultimate husband.
And it really makes Ethan a great character. Just the love that he has for his family, whether it's his wife or his child, and the lengths that he'll go to try and save them.
So strong. He never gives up. He's like, I mean, he thinks Mia is dead, so his focus is on Rose, and it is just, I mean, it's beautiful, like how hard and how much he goes. And like, Chris is a big dude. Like you see Ethan going up against him, like wanting to fight him. And that's when you know, like he's serious.
Yeah, for sure. It's sad though, we don't really get a conclusion of their characters, of their love, I guess, their relationship.
I know.
It's sad.
That we need a DLC. No.
We need a DLC. A lot of people want DLCs, especially to go out and see some of the stuff that we didn't, with the family, the different households and stuff. There's a lot of interesting story elements that we would like to see explored more. You've got money on the table at this point.
I know nothing.
Eliza Tuano in the chat, your performance is really out of this world. From Biohazard to Village, more power.
Thank you.
Well, we're kind of reaching the end of our hour mark here, so I guess we'll dive into what we just hinted at. So if you guys are paying attention to the social media for a lot of the actors involved, you might have seen that they're working with the agency now that does bookings for conventions. And this is kind of like the beginning of it. So if you guys want to see the cast coming to conventions local when they start opening up, or even, it may not even be a convention, it could just be an event at a theme park or something, because they've done that at like Six Flags and stuff. Make sure you guys make your voices heard, hit them up through social media, say, we want Resident Evil, we want Resident Evil. And then I'm sure the agency will get behind it, and when there's momentum, they can bring them out and you guys can go meet everyone in person.
We want to meet everyone. We're excited to turn all this virtual into reality.
Yeah. No, it's about true. Time. Like, to get back to normal. Yeah, like you guys, like if you and most conventions that you go to have a slot that says, if you think there's somebody that we should bring in, like fill it out here, send us their email, their social media, all that, IMDb, that kind of stuff. So if you guys want actors to come to your cons in your area, let these events know that, because this is the year where cons are going to be making a comeback. And then even earlier next year too, same thing. Like it's going to be huge because everybody's going to be vaccinated, we're back together. So this is the chance. A lot of cons will spend the money to bring these actors and actresses to them because it'll be huge.
I agree.
And we want to do it. We just want to see everybody and meet everybody and talk to everybody. I mean, it's this RE community that makes us keep doing this and keep wanting to talk about it and have interviews and meet everybody. So the thought of doing it in person is so exciting. So please, everybody, hit up all your favorite cons and say you want RE Village actors.
Do it.
Yep.
Come on,
hopefully we'll be doing our RoCon again this year. Probably be virtual, but it might lead to something in person. We'll see how that goes. I hope so. And then we can all meet together. We can bring in vendors. We can bring in all the talent. We can bring in musical acts. All the stuff that you get at a convention. We want to do that live, all Resident Evil.
Definitely. And if everyone goes to streamily.com/Resident Evil, a lot of the actors are doing signings. I know this weekend there are signings, and then next weekend a bunch of people are doing signings. And the date isn't set, but there is going to be a little RE reunion of sorts. So just keep following all the social medias for everybody to find out. And then I'm officially going to be doing a live signing on June 6th. So I just was trying to figure out dates with everything going on. So June 6th, 12 o'clock Pacific, I'll be doing another one of those. But yeah, everybody's doing stuff over the next couple of weeks. So keep tuning in and just, we love, all the love is amazing, and hearing from everybody and all the fan artwork. I have to do a shout out to all the amazing artwork that I have been seeing for Village, for all the characters. Is just, the amount of talent out there is incredible. It is so incredible. So thank you to everybody.
The love is real. The love is there.
It goes both ways.
And for social media, where can everyone follow you? And do you prefer Instagram versus Twitter?
So Instagram, Twitter, I'm on both. I'm a big picture person, so I'm on Insta a lot, but I definitely am on Twitter. I'm getting better. But at KDOAX. So I'm on all of those. And then I also have a link tree on my, on both Instagram and Twitter. So you can see all of my different accounts that you can jump on and check out. Yeah.
Perfect. So. Well, go follow Katie so you can keep up to date with her signing coming up and this big group reunion that's coming. Tentatively, it's around the time period, maybe the 4th through the 6th, but it's not directly locked down yet. I think they're still planning that. Yeah. But if you go follow everyone, a lot of people are showing up for it. So you'll definitely get the deets.
Yeah. And as soon as we have it nailed down, believe me, everybody will blow up social media with it. So,
Oh yeah.
that is one thing we are good at.
Right. And for everyone who asked questions, if I didn't get to them, they may have been asked earlier or in some form. So if you missed it, if you're late to it, go back and check it out. We do have some answers. I saw some familiar questions popping up, so you'll get to hear Mia and Katie giving her response as Mia, in that situation. So like the helicopter at the end, that was I like the way you got into that. That makes a lot of sense. So. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Tony, for joining me, and thank you, Katie, for coming on and hanging out. And it's always great to have you on here. It's a blast. We had a lot of fun. We've been laughing for like an hour and a half already.
My cheeks hurt.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because we always do a 30 minutes before prep and setup, so it's kind of like a nice time to hang out and kind of reconnect and stuff. Yeah. So we've been laughing nonstop for a while. The first thing is the hand. The hand comes out.
All the hand. It's all about the hand. Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Ethan says bye. This might be the closest everyone will get to Ethan. So just send the love. We all love him.
Little Ethan souvenir. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Souvenir.
Right.
Thank you guys so much.
And we'll catch you back here next time on the Residents of Evil. See ya.
Bye.